I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the City of Meridian Solid Waste Advisory Commission regular meeting for March 26, 2025. It is now 1 minute after 4, and we'll start with roll call. Please identify if you are here. Scott Walters. Here. Mark Nelson. Eddie Arriaga.
Here. Here.
Steve Corey here. Randy Rabin here. Bethany Guajardo
here.
Sanjay Dasam and Divya Ganesh
Here.
and Annie Shuhaja.
Here.
Forum being, we'll move on to the ex officio members. Rochelle Klein.
Here.
Forum being present, we'll go ahead and move on with the meeting.
We'll probably figure out what we did last time.
It sounds like more than one. So you go to the bottom left where it says audio, you turn off the audio for the program. That's right. I hear it.
Okay.
The system will get feedback if you're not just talking through the mic.
Okay, testing. Testing. Okay. Okay, so we'll move on to adoption of the agenda. The agenda was sent out a week ago, so hopefully you've had a chance to look at it. Are there any comments on the proposed agenda?
Mr. Chair, move to approve the agenda as written.
It's been moved to approve the agenda as written. Is there a second?
I second that.
It's been moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as written. Is there any further comments or changes to the agenda? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote, all those in favor of approving the agenda as drafted signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. We'll move on to approval of the minutes from the February 26th meeting. Are there any comments on the draft minutes for the February 26th meeting?
Mr. Chair, I did not receive a copy of those, so I cannot make a motion.
Is there a motion to approve the draft minutes as written?
I move to approve the draft minutes as written.
Is there a second?
I will second the approval of the draft minutes.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as drafted. Further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote, all those in favor of approving the draft minutes for the February 26th meeting as written signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to commission updates, and we have a new commissioner. Randy, welcome to the commission. Would you take a couple minutes to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My first meeting. I'm glad to be part of the commission. Hopefully, this will be an exciting venture for me. I'm recently retired as of last fall. I've had a long career in the IT industry as a computer person, database person for many companies over the years. Currently, as I say, retired, so a lot of time on my hands, and looking forward to a summer and filling some time a little bit with activities, get some travel done. My wife and I, wonderful wife of 35 years, we moved here to Meridian a little over 6 years ago from North Carolina on the East Coast. And we were just looking for a change in both climate, geography, and a little bit more relaxing lifestyle. And we found our place here in Meridian. We live in South Meridian, just off of Eagle Road, Victory Road area. Very nice part of the city. Honestly, the entire city is a nice part of the city, so we definitely love it here, and I'm excited to be part of this venture. So thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you, and we'll go ahead and move on to the staff program report. We're going to do the tonnage report for October through December. We kind of postponed that because of the elections and everything in January, and then it just slipped my mind in February, so I'm sorry we're doing the last quarter of 2024 now, but it's a good chance to see what the industry was doing. And I understand Peter Hall will go ahead and give the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commission, we're excited to get you caught up on the quarterly report. We'll go to the first slide where we'll see the tonnage for recycling on the left and then the curbside trash on the right. Orange is the commercial, blue is residential. And I'm going to point out, you see an uptick in December there on the right-hand side of the left chart, where you see an increase in recycling tonnage. You could probably count a lot of that towards the increase in cardboard that you're going to see during the holiday season, as that recycling tonnage ticks up there. We'll go to the next slide where we'll see the numbers for those months. On the right, we do have an average per household, and in that recycle per household, again in December, you're going to see that uptick to about 23 pounds per household. The next slide is a little more interesting. This is our diversion rate, and you'll see a big spike in November. So what you'll see here is the fruits of the labors for Recycle the Fall. This year we collected 968 tons. We do want to give a big shout out to Republic Services and Sayard, who do a lot during this time of the year to make this event successful. And it was great to see that diversion spike there in November. Between curbside and the drop sites, that does span a little bit through October, all through November and into December. This next, we'll see a little bit of a breakdown, and maybe for some of our newer commission members who aren't as familiar with diversion, when we talk about diversion, we're looking at material that has been diverted from the landfill as part of the entire solid waste stream that goes out. So here you'll see the residential and commercial diversion, which is going to come from your curbside recycling, and then you see again that green waste organics, which during this quarter was a lot higher, again thanks to Recycle the Fall. Last slide we have for you today is just an update on the HHW. If you'll remember, we did have our sites closed during October and November as we were working through the contract with Clean Earth, but we did have a couple weeks open in December, which is where that 8.5 tons came from. With that, I will stand for questions.
Members of the commission, do you have any comments or questions on the information that's been presented? thank you. And of course, we'll be back in cycle next month when we go ahead and do the first quarter of 2025. And I do appreciate you helping us. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to old business. And the item under old business is recycle a bicycle. Scott, do you have anything you want to go ahead and remind the commission on this?
Commissioner Nelson is not here. Just a reminder. Oh, we're going to start next Tuesday, go out to the transfer site and look at bikes and check out the inventory of the bikes in general. And Commissioner Nelson did a swing by to look at inventory of tools or other items that we might need to continue. So he'll have a list when he gets back to help give to Sayard. And then after Tuesday, we'll know more about how much extra help we may need and how many days we actually need to do it before the event.
Thank you. As usual, do go ahead and send out the call and tell us when and where you're going to be. And hopefully some of us are free to go ahead and come over and help wipe down bikes and help move them from one spot to another, and maybe even learn a thing or two about
Bicycle maintenance.
repair and and eventually, again, the Get Outside and Unplugged event is May 10th, and we'll have the opportunity to give those bikes to the public. So if you happen to be available that Saturday, join us over at Kleiner Park to meet the public. Any questions on the Recycle a Bicycle and Get Outside and Unplugged event?
I have a question. Are we going to get an email about all of the dates and how we can volunteer, or if we can send that information out to the community or friends and family?
I think that's an excellent suggestion, and we'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, I think we do need to go ahead and send out a reminder and give people the opportunity to commit.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I apologize. I was going to forward some pictures from one of our last events, not unplugged, but for everyone here, the bikes that go out, we support the Meridian Unplugged event. And then we also support lots of nonprofits in the interim between the annual event here in Meridian. And so we recently, well, gosh, it was probably fall, right, Sky? It was in the fall. We did a bike giveaway at Desert Sage, and the social workers sent us some pictures, and I forwarded them to two of our commissioners, but I'll forward them to the rest of the group so you guys can see the kids. They were all riding their bikes to school, and it was very sweet. So I'll send those to Sayard, and she can hopefully circulate them to the group. So thanks.
Thank you, Rochelle. Commissioner Nelson went ahead, or Commissioner Walters went ahead and showed me the photos, and if I'd seen them earlier, they might have made the annual report this year, but not a problem. They are definitely cute. Further comments or questions on Recycle a Bicycle?
I just had one more comment. They did not allow any of the children to leave with a bike without a helmet. And they provided the helmets.
Unless there's any other comments about Recycle a Bicycle, I guess we'll move on to the new business, which is a Ada County rate comparison. This was included in the email that came out with the agenda and the minutes. So hopefully you've got a chance to go back and see a copy of it. It was a deal where I noticed when I attended the rate review by City Council back in September, they requested that this table be updated. And we went ahead and pulled it together to make sure the commissioners also had that information. This has been updated, the one that you got a week ago, because the various cities are on different cycles about when their fees and rates come into effect. And also it has to be understood that each of the cities have different services that they provide their ratepayers. And so it's not actually a apples to apples comparison. But it will give you an indication of comparatively what a ratepayer in different parts of the county will pay. And, you know, probably it ranges from Boise's charge of just under $32 for trash and recycling down to Garden City's just over $19. And we're kind of somewhere in the middle on all of this stuff at a little over $25 right now. But we try to have a fairly robust services program, so. But it's timely. In a couple of months, we'll be hearing the proposal for FY '26. And it'll give you kind of a basis to be thinking of when those proposals are brought before us. And with that, are there any questions on that information?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just, for new commissioners, the, couple of things, the rates that you'll see in the table, the comparative rates, those are customer rates. So those are not our reimbursement rates. So Republic Services gets reimbursed for services, and then the cities, in most cases, except for Star, handle all their own billing. So, franchise fees range from like 6% to 18%. So what you might see is like, you know, some cities, I would say definitely our cities in Canyon County have much higher franchise fees, and they use the money that they recover to care for their roads because they don't have like an Ada County highway district. So rates are crafted in lots of different ways. So that's something to keep in mind. And then another thing to keep in mind is our business is all about the ton mile. Like how many tons do you have to carry how many miles? So like Garden City would have a low rate because it sits right at the toe of the landfill. So we basically collect it and just haul it right up the hill. So the farther you are, the more expensive it is to get trash. Transfer stations give some efficiencies because we don't have as many trucks that we have to direct haul. There's also a cost to running trash through a transfer station. So, but the ton mile equation runs for lots of things, whether it's compost or recycling or trash or anything like that. Location is really important. Thanks.
Commissioners, any questions or comments on the information presented? Very good. Then we'll move on to stakeholder updates. Rochelle, does Republic have anything they want to go ahead and tell us about?
Mr. Chairman, yes, we do. I think Gia, who is our, for everyone here, just so to reintroduce myself or introduce myself, I'm Rochelle Klein. I manage municipal services for the Idaho market, really from kind of the Oregon border over to Pocatello. That's the kind of area. And Gia is our operations manager for everything in Ada County. And she will be able to give an update on our recycling facility called a MRF. So she's going to give an update.
Welcome, Gia. Go ahead and state your name and who you're with, just for the record.
Hi, I'm Gia Allen, and I'm the ops manager for the actual hauling. So I was previous ops manager for the recycling center. So we had a big project where we had several increases on the equipment that we had. And I just left the facility, and we are actually up and running as of right now. So we went ahead and received some equipment where we had new cardboard. So we have a OCC screen, so it's an old cardboard, and also a new plastic max where we separate the plastic. And so, you know, definitely something that we've worked really hard and am able to get a lot of things to the Polymer Center, which we have in Vegas. as well. So it's up and running. It'll start tomorrow. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, any questions?
Thank you. And I think we definitely want to go ahead and have some kind of a tour of the facility as soon as you're in a position to receive us and
Absolutely.
to see it.
We're pretty excited about it.
I don't know what the mechanism would be, whether you want to go ahead and tell Sarah when you're ready to go ahead and do that, or
Yeah,
does that sound
absolutely. Yeah.
reasonable?
Yeah, I can get with Sayard and have a tour. Absolutely.
Okay, and
All right.
then we'll set up a date and look forward to seeing it. And
Thank you.
sounds very exciting.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Commissioners, any questions or comments?
Congratulations.
Rochelle, do you have any other things you want to update us on? Okay. Tyler, do you have anything from Timber Creek that you need to go ahead and pass on to us? Okay. I know it's a pretty light meeting, but believe me, you're going to enjoy the fact that occasionally you have a light meeting when we start getting into rate review. So with that, we're actually up to the next meeting. The next meeting is April 23rd. And as always, if there's any subjects that you come across associated with waste or recycling that you want us to pick up and talk about, drop a note to Sarah or myself, and then 2 weeks from now, we'll go ahead and get together and put together the agenda for the April meeting, and we'll get it on there and try to pull together whatever resources we can to talk about a subject. So unless there's any other business that I have overlooked, and I guess we've completed our agenda and we can go ahead and consider ourselves adjourned. Thank you for what you do for the city.